Running fans, jumping fans, throwing fans, all around athletics fans, welcome to Talking in Ovals. How is everybody doing out there on this Tuesday, July 14th, 2026, episode number 198? Hi, it's nice to be back after a little
I
bit
feel
of a
like it's
break there.
been like a month
It's
hiatus or
crazy.
something. It's been a while. I'm like, finally, we're going back on tonight.
Yeah, I got to enjoy sunny Florida, went over to Universal over there, took my family, had some fun. It was a
Crazy
good
part
time.
is that it was cooler there than it was here.
It was cooler there and it was much drier,
Yeah,
which, we had our storms. You guys got your asses kicked over here in
we
New
got
York, New
crushed here, man.
Jersey,
We got
Northeast
crushed.
area, man. Like, I'm
It
happy
was
that you
brutal.
guys are okay.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we had floods everywhere. It was crazy.
I mean, yeah, so still picking up the pieces a little bit in the Northeast here. Shout out. I know we complain about our energy companies all the time, but shout out to all the workers and the
Yeah,
linesmen and everyone that was out there and got mostly everything back to normal in 3 days. Like, that was pretty 3, 4 days. It's pretty miraculous that, hazard pay that they got is well deserved. So
yeah.
thank you to all of them. We appreciate it. Thank you to anybody out there who is watching, wherever you're watching from, X, YouTube, Facebook, Kick, Twitch. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe if you have not already, and share this. If you're a track fan, running fan, share this because that's the biggest way that we grow. And it's always nice when Hyatt tells me stories that he's out of meat and people are like, "Hey, you're the Talking in Ovals guy." And it's like,
Yeah.
I'm wearing my Manasquan shirt today. Don't call
Doesn't
me that.
matter. I'm still the TIO guy. They're like, you're the TIO guy.
Absolutely.
I'm like, yep.
Absolutely. So, as we said in the title, we have a special announcement to make today. Now, we've been doing this show now 198 episodes. We've had a ton of guests at this point. And there's sometimes you have great shows with guests and we just, you don't stay in touch with them. It was a great show. They go their way, we go our way. We could think of many of them that nothing against each other. It's just
No,
we go our separate ways. Then we have other guests who stick with the show, are constantly talking to us, willing to help in any way they can. And it came to a point where this individual has been in our corner since we had him on, even before we had him on. He was a fan of ours, and it's crazy because we knew him, especially
sure.
growing up in Jersey, as one of the greats in our state, even
Yep.
though he won't say it. But it just made total sense to both Dave and I that while me and Dave are good, three is always better. And that's actually my favorite number. So we're going to announce and we are going to bring in our new permanent third co host of Talking in Ovals, Mr. Lyle Smith. What's going on, Lyle?
Hey, fellas. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. That was a great introduction. And thank you for inviting me to be part of this. I took a little time to think about it just because of the commitment and everything. But you know what? I have had such a great time talking to you guys the few times we have, and the few times you've asked me to sit in.
Yeah.
If anytime I can bring something to it, I'm happy to be here. This is
Oh,
this is great fun. This is
yeah. I
great
mean,
fun.
you
I'm really
you
excited
bring you
for
bring
what comes next.
so much, and also, there are so many weeks where like Alex, like I can't go this week, or I'm like I can't go this week. So it's just nice knowing that we can always hopefully have at least two of us on every week because it just kind of makes the whole show kind of just go easier. If you know.
Well, when I've been listening to the show for quite some time now, and
Thank you, thank
I
you.
get jealous because I'm like, oh God, they got to talk to all those cool people. I want to be part of it. So I'm excited about it. I'm really looking forward to it.
And I'll say it is 100% our benefit, Lyle,
Oh
because it's
God,
not
yeah,
every day that we get to have a prolific author in the sport coming and being a co-host. And again, Dave and I couldn't put your book down, and I can't recommend to anyone else more. Blood, Sweat, and Spikes running the Wetmore Way, and I know Let's Run just did their like first phase of like these are the ones for the backgrounds. It's like I commented, I'm like, what about this book, right? You
Thank
have
you.
Running with the Buffaloes, and we love Chris Lear, but it's
yeah,
like the coach that they talk about in that book was your coach, and you knew him personally probably better than Chris ever could because he was your guy for so long. So it's
yep.
like, I mean, it's so I made sure I had to throw that in
I
there.
appreciate it. Appreciate the mention always.
So on top of that too, it's just for me and Dave, I know when we always thought about who was someone that we always want to have on, right? When we first asked you to fill in as a guest host, we threw around people, and Dave right away was like, if Lyle wants to do it, why not? And when you immediately agreed, for me, it was like, oh, that's great. And I said to Dave, I'm like, you guys are about to benefit much more because you and Lyle, between the two of you, are gonna, kick some ass. And on top of that, you also have podcasting experience because you do the Story Forge.
Mhm.
So it really, and shout out to Story Forge podcast. Go check
And
that if you haven't already.
Lyle also knows a lot of people in the sport too, which is going to be very, very beneficial. I'm looking forward to maybe him reaching out and getting some of his old time friends. I love talking to the old timers and hearing their stories and kind of comparing how everything is now. And then and you being out in Colorado, it's just a whole different area that
Yeah.
it opens up more of the country to our fans, and we're just absolutely thrilled to have you on. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate that, and it's we this latest iteration of Hey Lyle, come on, kind of started with you were looking for me to sit in a couple of weeks ago, and we need to find a good
Yes.
guest and all this other stuff, and we had a couple of them, for a variety of reasons, we're not able to be on, so that's why it's been delayed. But that said, the hustle to try and get a guest,
It's fun.
has given us kind of a list of a few pretty interesting ones that I think are going to be coming up.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to all those conversations. This should be a lot of fun.
Just let the record be known, we're 100% using Lyle for all of his connections into the sport. No, I'm kidding. No, it's going to be fun.
Listen, if there's a person, well, I kind of look at it like I have you with Alex. Like, if I have a tendency to text a person something that's going on track related, that's the person that I want to have on the show. And I always find myself mentioning Lyle, like, did you see this, or messaging you? So it's just.
Well, I think that's what makes the show kind of interesting, is that you have that kind of that excitement about what's going on, and you want to share it, and you want to, who do you want to talk about these things that are coming up, and that's that's what makes the show interesting to listen to for me, anyway. So I hope that continues to emote out there to the world.
That was also another reason too, right? Because I think me and Dave were like, people that are in this sport are passionate about it, but you share our passion in the same way we do that. We kind of have a burning passion still for this sport. Like, your son is competing in it still. You pay attention to it. Dave and I still pay attention. Dave much more than me, because I'm not willing to pay for many of the things, because it drives me crazy how many things we have to pay for to pay attention to the sport.
I'm also coaching, so I'm at meets. Lyle sees his son, his son runs for the best team in the country. So, so like he gets to see all these things. So, that's the reason why. But we do have a question for Lyle right off the rip from Coach Torchia. It says, can you tell us about the jerseys behind you?
Oh, yeah, sure. We were talking about this a little bit earlier. I kind of scrambled together a studio of sorts for myself today. Because I see, my co-hosts have their fun stuff behind them. So I kind of grabbed what I have from the old dusty cardboard box of stuff in the basement. And so in no particular order, this one over here is my Bernard's varsity singlet from Bernard's High School, growing up in New Jersey. That is one of, I don't know, a couple we're not really supposed to have after graduating. We were supposed to return those in those days.
Somehow seniors end up with their uniforms.
Somehow.
So that one ran quite a few races. This one over here, the yellow one, is my Mine Mountain Road Department singlet.
That's awesome.
I have two. I have one from when I was on the cover of the book there. I was about 12 or 13. That was very small, and this is the next size up from when I was a high school age and beyond.
Would it fit now? Would it still fit?
Not at the moment. I'm working on it.
Aren't we all?
If you look, the design is this kind of twin M's, stylized two runners kind of a thing.
That's pretty cool.
So here, let me see if I can get it better like that.
Oh, yeah.
Dave, don't make him ruin his setup, Dave.
I'm not.
And that's but it was funny. We were sitting, I had Mark Wetmore and Heather Burrows over here. We had them over for dinner a few weeks ago, and we were chit-chatting about that. And I didn't realize Mark Wetmore's mother design that logo.
Nice.
Wow.
Because she was, among other things, a designer, like a graphic designer. And so they were fast, just terrific people and wonderful things.
So I think we need to eventually have to have Coach Wetmore over for dinner and have it be an extended dinner.
I
Do
will
9 o'clock.
I will
And
continue to extend an invitation for these sorts of things.
Listen,
Because
some guys are just private,
reluctant to
man.
do that
Some
sort of
guys
thing.
are just private.
Yeah, he's reluctant to do that sort of
So
thing. But it would be a hell of a conversation.
oh my God.
Before
But
we get started,
one more thing,
Go
just
ahead.
to
Yep, please do.
this one over here. This is another old like track jacket with all these patches on it, and I've had that since I was a little kid.
Love
But
it.
all those patches are from like the AAU Junior Olympics,
Awesome.
That's
you know,
fantastic.
all these different races I ran when I was very small, and we just collected these patches, and you know, what do you do with them? My grandmother used to sew them on this jacket over here.
And your Nova jacket, man.
Oh, I got my Nova jacket. This is my actual uniform.
That's awesome.
From when I was there, but my son wears it to school. Like
Absolutely.
all the time.
Yeah.
So every once in a while, it's going to be missing from your background because you're going to forget to go grab it out of his room.
Right. Oh, and this one right here, the black. This is a jacket too. We had these made up when we won the 1985 cross country meet of champions.
That's awesome.
We didn't get rings, but they offered to buy us something, and that's what we kind of designed and put together.
That's pretty solid. So again, everyone that is watching and all of our, loyal, people that watch and people that listen. First off, we lost one of our super fans, so that's okay. Lyle, you were a super fan, but now you're in the family officially. But expect to hear Lyle every single week with us, with our guests, and we'll have Lyle make us a list of guests that he wanted to talk to, and maybe we'll have them back on the show just so Lyle will have a chance to interview them as well. Because why not?
Alex.
Yeah.
Something big happened this weekend. We had a world record right here in this area.
And someone you happen to know very well.
Courtney Decker, who I had the pleasure of having as a volunteer coach with us at Squan. Her and three of her teammates went out and ran the 4x8 this weekend for the women's masters. I believe it was 40 to 45 or 40 to 40. Or the world record was set by Canada at 9:15. These ladies said 9:15. We're going to go and we're going to run 8:50. And they absolutely shattered the world record by 25 seconds here at Monmouth University. There were a couple of my kids from the Mascot team who were fortunate enough to be in that race just to kind of help her out. It was an absolutely amazing day, and shout out to these girls. I can't speak for the other ladies, but I know how hard Courtney works. I talk to her often. She's always, up at 4 a.m. Doing her thing. She's an absolute asset to our team, and congratulations to her and to her teammates for running an absolutely ridiculous 8:50, all the ages of 40 to 45. Unbelievable.
And Courtney dropped a 2:18 there. Courtney's going sub 2:20, running fast as hell. And you know what?
The crazy part was the other three girls actually ran faster.
But it's not surprising that Courtney Decker, Coach Decker, is a part of a world record team, because just talking to her on the show, and she has the fire that, I talk all the time about. We have a lot of these former Olympians and stuff and things like that and greats. And you could still see they have that fire that they believe they could toe the line and still go run a world record. Courtney has that drive, that work ethic, that fire.
Oh, yeah.
And it's awesome. And, shout out to the Bellas as well, because she is a Bella. So that is, great with what Diane is doing over there. And that world record also belongs to the Bellas because, Courtney talked about just how important that group of women is for just a support group too. So shout out to all them.
Courtney, she set it all up. She had everyone staying at her house, and people were flying in from California, from all over the country, because these four ladies wanted to make history, so that they all made it work with their busy lives, and they all got together this weekend. Courtney hosted them, and they went out there and they showed up and showed out, and it was unbelievable.
That's fantastic.
And isn't Courtney, was she a mom of 3 or 4?
3 girls.
3 girls. A mom of 3.
One of them is going to be a freshman at this place called Manasquan this year, and we're really, really, really excited to have her on board.
I think she has some pretty good genes. I think she
has some
genes.
Yep.
So here's a question that I have, because we're all track heads, right? And we hear about, and obviously I feel like the Penn Relays always shows the highlight on like the 90 plus 100 meter, right? We always love to watch that.
Sure.
Should we be paying attention more to the Masters scene as track fans? Because
Yeah.
as you know, I feel like as I get older, I have so much more respect for those individuals that not just run those times, but take the time to train to get
Yeah.
there.
The
Because
the
it's
the
so friggin' hard to find that time. And you go and you talk to some of these people, and they're
it's about
doctors, they
it's
are
about sacrifice. That
teachers,
Yep. It's sacrifice.
they have families, and obviously when you're retired and maybe all your kids are older, it maybe is a touch easier because now you have your hobby and you're really, but I'm
Yeah.
like people our age in their 30s, 40s, 50s that still have kids in high school, middle school, everything like that, still doing it. Like, so should we be paying attention more to what the Masters athletes are doing, America and abroad?
Absolutely.
I think absolutely. Uh, to see what this team did, for example.
Yeah.
It's extraordinary. These are people who are they're not playing around with it. They're
No.
out there working hard, and they have goals, and they have ideas of what they really want to accomplish in a sport. And I think that um, I saw a picture the other day, and it was a picture of some actors in a TV show from the 70s in a break. And they said these actors, they were 43, 46, and 47 years old in this picture. And you look at them and I'm like, oh my God, how old was 47 years old back then?
Right.
Because they all looked 70, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we're in a world where people are, it's, 50 is younger than it used to be, 40 is younger than it used to be, and we stay in shape more and we do all that kind of stuff, and I think it's really important.
We just
We
know more. Like we know about how the body works, diet,
Mhm.
like sleep, and we know. I mean, and not to say like the technology for the shoes has really helped older people to recover and to bounce back and to just kind of
Right. We
stay more
just
fit and be able to do more on back to back days and whatnot. And
right.
the inception that like more coaches now are relying on rest. Like you don't have to go hard every day. Like the fact that like rest is now part of training really helps to preserve people's bodies and let them be able to compete at a high level longer because they're not pounding 100 miles at 6 flat pace every single day.
Yeah, no, it's
They're
more
being smart.
sensible, it's more thoughtful, and I'll tell you one thing. I'm pointing to the yellow shirt over here. When I was growing up, we had not only in this club the young kids going to run the Junior Olympics, but we had and the high school kids and the college kids came back to train with us in the summertime. But we had the parents would come and train in the summer,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
especially summer, especially. But because more people had more time. But we had parent. I remember parents. One guy who was the parent of one of the guys we're talking about for a future guest actually ran with us, and we would go up to Utica, New York for the Utica Boilermaker 15-kilometer road race every
Yeah.
summer. And he was 55 years old, and he ran 7:14 a mile
Yeah.
for 15K
That's
in
fantastic.
1981. And
Now you have women in their 50s running that pace.
yeah, it's crazy. It's
faster.
crazy.
Yeah.
And so, but they came and they trained with us every night. We had 50, 60 people out going training every night in this little tiny town. So, it's a thing that, so the short answer, Alex, I think is yes, we should be paying more attention to it because they're doing some cool stuff. And I think there should be more opportunities for Masters races and Masters meets. We have out here the Boulder Roadrunners do a series of all comers meets all summer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're high quality meets. They had a steeplechase, they have all kinds of stuff, and all ages, all different kinds of people, and it's a lot of fun. So I think, yeah, I think it's, people like to talk about, growing the sport and what's good for the sport. Those are the kinds of things you need to do to grow the sport, I think.
Well, yeah, youth and adult programs, right? Because like, what do you see in football, baseball, basketball? The youth programs are massive, and
Yeah.
I feel like we had that at one point. But I also want to get to, I think back then we see these people and they look so much older. I feel like life was still a lot more physical back then. We have these bricks right in our hands that make everything so much
Yeah, no, I
easier.
think yeah,
We're
yeah,
able to talk on this technology here, right? Like
yeah.
even going to hang out with your friends. We used to ride bikes or walk. Now a lot of kids have scooters, that e-scooters. I feel like
Yeah.
everything we had to do in the 70s, 80s, 90s was so much still more physical. So
Mhm.
it aged you quicker. You were lifting more, walking more, doing
Right.
more things. And it wasn't in a leisure sense. Where
Yeah.
now because of all the advancements in technology, yeah, we still have our challenges, and some of our challenges in some ways are significantly harder than they were back then, right? But in terms of the physical aspect of life, I feel like we've gotten in a much more way where we have to do less physical things,
Mhm.
and we have so much more time for leisure activities.
None of that,
Right.
So
and
I think there's all that
there's
that plays
also
into why we are so much younger looking and feeling and everything
there's
too.
so many supplements now that people take to
That
keep them
too.
younger. You know, so
Well,
many.
and there's and one other thing, if you go watch old movies or old TV shows, you realize, wow, everybody smoked.
Yeah,
That too. What was healthy for a while. Remember, like when it first
Everybody
started coming,
smoked.
like, but here's the thing though, I will argue probably in the beginning of cigarettes when it was mostly just tobacco, it wasn't
Right,
half as bad as when
right.
they started really putting like all the chemicals and the filters and everything and
No,
making with the addition of nicotine, making
yeah,
it significantly addicting. Like, I feel like in the beginning when it was just tobacco, was it good for you? No, inhaling anything is bad for you,
yeah,
but
I
it
think
probably
there's
is
some
not the
truth to
level
that.
it is now. Like, but
well, yeah,
yeah,
man. But I
no.
mean, if you look at it, like a lot less people smoke, a lot less people drink. You know,
Yep, yeah.
You had guys on tennis courts, like major tennis courts. John McEnroe used to have a freaking cigarette, like in the middle, like in between matches.
I
And
remember the picture of Len Dawson locker room smoking a
Yep.
cigarette at halftime while he's
there's
playing quarterback. You know, like it's
actually
just
a current either Scottish or Irish female golfer who is elite. Like she's in
Charlie
there.
Hall.
Yes, she smokes in between things, and they let her do it. And she's like,
Yeah,
I hate it, but it helps me focus. And it's been something I've been doing for so long that, and all like, there's like strict no smoking rules on a lot of these courses, and they let her do it. But it's
yeah.
also, I mean, she's gonna go down eventually as
look at John Daly.
John Daly.
Oh,
John Daly's another one. John Daly could bring a fifth of vodka, and they're gonna let him play because that guy's just amazing.
I grew up as a caddy. I used to caddy at Somerset Hills Country
That's
Club in
awesome.
Burnersville.
Yeah.
And they had a charity event there every summer where some of the tour pros would come out and play. And I didn't caddy for him, but I caddied with John Daly.
That's so cool. That'd be
It had to be
such a
fun.
fun
He
experience.
is a unique individual.
So
I'm a massive fan.
it is not an act.
It is
He
no.
who he is.
He
He
is
is who
for
he-
real.
That's awesome.
But back in the old days, one of the responsibilities of the caddy was to keep a cigarette lit for their player because they weren't allowed to be seen on TV smoking.
Right.
So the caddy would have a cigarette and he'd just give them a drag every so often.
It's so funny too. They weren't allowed to be seen on TV smoking, but I guarantee Marlboro or Cool or one of them was a sponsor back then, right?
Oh, sure.
You know, it was it for. I'm a NASCAR fan. It was the Winston Cup
It
for
was.
so long, and for me, even to this day, when I'm looking at the major NASCAR race, I still call it the Winston Cup a lot of
It's
times.
still
That's what I
yeah,
grew up
sure.
watching.
Yeah.
So it's like it's funny too, just like
Virginia Slims tennis.
Yeah.
Virginia Slims.
All that.
And how things are taboo and that they're not, right? Like we let major alcohol companies sponsor so many things, gambling companies sponsoring sporting events,
All
right?
the time.
But it's like
This is a program from the Milrose Games back in
Mhm.
1980 something. And I remember going to the Madison Square Garden for the Milrose Games, and if you were sitting in the upper seats, it was like a weather pattern across the arena. Everybody was smoking.
Yeah.
So you'd have the meets with the smoking going on.
Talk about running fast. I mean, like Eamon Coggin was running through plumes of like cigarette smoke while
That's what it felt like. Yeah,
while he's running
yeah.
on the
I mean,
boards.
I would like to just see like forget all the technology, just the correlation of getting smoke out of indoor facilities in terms of cigarettes and performances and looking at like the lung capacity of the athletes. Because you got to think too, they were probably all smoking on the side or the coaches were smoking while they were working out.
Or
Like,
secondhand smoking. I mean, it was just around all the time. So
Yeah.
that's a part of it.
Teachers
And-
used to smoke in the faculty room
right.
back in the day. Like you just walk by, it was just plumes of smoke.
My high school had a smoking lounge
yeah.
for the students.
And
For the
students could be
students.
outside.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
No.
when I was in high school, students, there was a spot
Yeah,
where they were like
or still.
not supposed to, but they were allowed to just
Or
go
s-
a
yeah.
little bit further out and smoke.
So
Absolutely.
wait, Lyle, your school had a smoking lounge for the students?
For the students, yeah. Well, the teachers would go there too, but it was outdoors. This
Can
one
you
little
imagine
area.
like
Yeah.
asking your math teacher for a light? Hey man,
The light. That's it. That was it. That was
It's
it.
so funny too because society has changed so fast because it's so taboo. Now, like it's rare you see anybody smoking, right? And it's kind
That's
of like
true.
you give them the side eye, even though it's like both of my parents smoked growing up. My sister, she smoked even though she was a marathoner, which again, back that bizarre, right? But it's like it's now you look at it, and it's funny too. It's like the reason why people don't smoke now is because those companies were forced to pay for ads to put out against their own products, right? They lost the battle in
They
terms
were
of
forced. They were
ads.
forced to put out ads that
Yeah.
told you what you were doing could kill you.
Yes. Yeah.
And so they stopped. So
It's
you know, and
crazy.
it's just to kind of make a connection here that I'm hearing is you know, things change, sometimes very quick, sometimes
Yes.
it takes time. But you know, because we were talking about super shoes earlier before we came on,
Yeah.
and so some things change for the better, some things change for maybe the worse, or maybe something that doesn't seem, you know, what some of us
Productive.
old guys like. But on the other hand, you have, like, in the old days, you would have like a female athlete would get married, have a kid, and then that would be it.
Yeah,
That'd
Yep.
be
not anymore.
the end. And now you have like
Elise
Denver,
Cranny is a big one.
How
Elise
about
Cranny,
Sid? How
so
about
many.
Sid?
And Sydney, you know, we were talking about Sydney
McLaughlin
Laughlin
Levrone.
Levrone.
Congrats to her
It's
and her husband.
syllables. But she's congratulations to her. I mean, that's
Yeah,
that's
and you know, I mean, like now, like women come back just as good or even better now
absolutely.
after
And
having
it's
kids. I mean,
really,
look. I mean,
and
Allison Felix is coming back this
Oh,
year.
real quick
that's stunning to me.
aside,
That's
real
great.
quick aside though, we need better announcements when women do change their last name, because I was looking at Facebook, right? And all of a sudden I see a woman with the discus looking really similar to Valerie Allman.
Yeah.
And
She got
she
married.
throws, and it's like, this is her 5th straight pre-championship. I'm like, thought Valerie Allman won. I'm like, that looks like her. And it's like, but her name is Valerie Scion. So
Yeah,
of
she got
course
married.
now I have to go and look it up, and it's like, oh, Valerie Allman Scion. It's like, can somebody help me out? Get like, Valerie, please hyphenate for me. I'm an idiot. I don't pay attention to everything. Can you at least give me the Allman Scion, like Sid kept McLaughlin Levrone? Like, can you do that for me? Because when I saw her like just Scion, I'm like, that's not Valerie Allman. She didn't win. It looks a lot like her, but I don't know
It's
if it's her. Like,
it's a tricky thing, especially when you're a public figure of
Yeah.
some kind, of any kind.
yeah.
You know, like when we got married, Heather and I, she thought a lot about, you know, should she, because she's a doctor, you know, she has all her degrees and all her licensing and everything.
Yeah.
So if you're going to change your name, it's a whole lot of steps.
Yeah.
Change all of that, and plus people know you as one thing.
Yep.
And so, you know, yes, I'll agree with you. I think there needs to be a better way, an easier way to do that.
Just hyphenate for the dummies like me. Okay. Like I'm
it's
perfectly
tricky.
happy and fine with her taking her husband's last name, do more of a traditional thing. Great. But at least make an announcement for an idiot like me. So when I'm looking there going, I know Valerie Allman won the pre last year. This woman looks a lot like her, but it's not her name.
But, you know, we ask, you know, this is the thing. You talk about, you know, having children and coming back athletically, having, you know, having a career and having children, having, you know, just the biological changes women go through every month.
Oh yeah.
To be an athlete these are things we don't, as guys, don't really think about. And
well, the heartbreak of some young ladies from the high school, especially going through college, where, you know, their bodies just naturally develop differently sometimes, and they become different athletes by nothing of their own. It's not like they start working harder. It's not like
a lot harder than us, a lot in a lot of
ways. Yes.
Yeah.
So looking at that again, I think you guys all said before I went on my little side tangent, congrats to Sid and her husband. Bringing in a new blessing into the world is always a positive. And we know
every
Dave,
high school coach is like, where do they live? What high school will they?
And Dave, you've mentioned it a million times too, just how private, and obviously, you know, she doesn't make it secretive, just how religious she is and everything in terms of her outlook. So with that said, do we expect to see Sid back on the track anytime soon? Because she's obviously someone that's going to take her responsibility of being a mother incredibly serious with her convictions.
I would say we see her a few times next year, and then she'll be ready to go for the Olympics in the 2028. That's
thing is, does she have to?
Does
Sid have to come back?
But I think she wants to get that world record in the 4.
Yeah,
I think maybe she wants to get under 50, maybe for the 400 hurdles. I don't know. I'm just speculating, but like, I mean, she's you know, I'm maybe I hope she's saying, "No, Femke just ran a 155." I could be.
I said that what I said two shows ago. That might be the funniest and meanest thing Sid could do, is just go and if Femke, especially, what if Femke gets the world record and then Sid's just like, hold my drink because I don't know if she drinks or not, but hold whatever I'm drinking. I'm now going to go beat Femke again. And, and it's funny too, because we're looking at, obviously the world record attempts and things coming up. To me, I'm looking at it. Guerrero's been running great. Hodgkinson's been running well. With Femke's pedigree,
Dude,
it's no doubt in my mind that's Femke's record to go get right now.
she's running 155 on her third try ever. I mean, it's crazy.
It's an interesting thing. There are so many who are running so well.
The 800 man is
ready and
unbelievable
really
on both
amped up
sides.
to go after it. And it's because that records, that's another one that's been around for
Long time.
And
83.
I mean, 83, and I mean, and there's a lot of speculation about that.
Yeah,
record.
I mean,
tons, probably more than any other record out there that is left.
yeah, it's suspect for a lot of different reasons, and but that's a long, I remember
It's so fast. It's so
John
fast.
Walker had the 2,000 meter world record for years and years and years.
Yeah.
That was the longest standing record in track and field for a long time. And but it was because it's the 2,000 meters and they don't run it very often.
Correct.
It
The
wasn't-
800 is running every meet.
hanging around because it was that far out for everybody. They just didn't have that many shots at it.
Yeah, I mean, where's the 800? It's run every meet.
But the 800 run all the time. So
Yeah.
to have, what, 5 different women who are looking like they're
He's
really
in striking distance.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 women at least in striking distance too. And
Men
3
too.
that I think are like the
As a
serious.
fan, that's incredible. I mean,
Men
yeah,
too, and on the 800, the men, there's
Right.
a bunch of men.
I
too
will
that
say
are-
this. We're going to talk about Josh Kerr's attempt. I mentioned Keely Hodgkinson.
Yeah.
I draw the line at 2 Brits going to get it. 1 Brit can only go get the record. I can't have 2. All right. As an American, I love the Brits, but I cannot have 2 of them having those middle distance records.
They deserve it,
But-
man.
But here's the
They're-
thing, though.
They're in the
We forget-
semifinal. They're in the semifinal of the World Cup tomorrow.
Hey, that cup
Yeah,
does need to go.
A Brit won Wimbledon. They've had a good sporting year. I'll tell
I'd
you.
say so.
The thing is, Lyle and Dave, you'll remember, but people forget just how great British middle distance was for a really long time on the world stage. Like they were
Cram, all
the
those guys, yeah.
standard in middle distance. They were amazing. And it is nice to see them coming back to form between the men and women. Keely, Georgia Hunter Bell, Kerr, Whiteman, like they have a nice stable of individuals. And it's like they remembered who they were for a bit. Like Britain is remembering who they are in that scene.
I don't know if what they've done differently to develop so
They all
many.
train in Colorado.
great
They're
players.
here. Like that's what they did.
But
They used our tech.
they're doing really incredible stuff.
Incredible.
Because I remember when I was a kid, when Sebastian Coe broke the 800 meter record, there was a photo of him. It was like a profile photo of him crossing the line. So in full stride, and he was wearing these. I ended up getting a pair of these blue Nike spikes with a yellow swoosh, and they had the tongue was sticking out like a flag. It looked like a middle distance version of a superhero. And I had that hanging on my wall for a long time as a kid. And then he and Ovett, and then later Cram, and then it's just like this crazy
British takeover
battle of not just great kickers and great racers, but world record breakers too, which was astonishing.
Well, I mean, the first man under 4 minutes was a Brit with Roger Bannister, and he was in a battle with an American to get there, right? If I remember correctly, it was him and an American that were, different 401s here and there, and he eventually got it. And that's going to get us to the attempt that Josh Kerr is about to do over in the London Diamond League meeting. And there's lots going into it. The one thing that I think of now, it's going to get comparisons to Faith Kipyegon's sub-4 attempt. It's over a year ago now, right? Has it been a year? Yeah, it's crazy. It's flown. Yeah. It's going to get comparisons to that. And I think it's going to get criticism that it deserves in terms of stipulations. But I bring up Roger Bannister in those attempts. It's not different in track and field for these athletes to try and set themselves up to do something incredible, to try and make the situation perfect, to do something that is human boundary pushing, right? Like we saw it in the attempt of the under 2 hour marathon, and they got it, right? Even though it wasn't sanctioned, they human ran under 2 hours.
Yeah.
So even though I think that there's criticisms, I think they're fair criticisms about both Faith and what we're about to see Josh do. But I
Right.
also think it's almost par for the course in our sport to watch a
Yeah.
human do it first. And
Right.
then if that human could do it, all the other ones are like, okay, we can go do this in race now, right? Like,
Right.
so first let's talk about Josh's attempt. Josh Kerr is going to attempt to break the mile record, which
Saturday.
sits at 341. Hikam
343.
El-Garouche, 343, right? Okay.
Point something.
Point one, yeah, 343.1.
343 point. Yeah.
One.
I think it's
something
point
like
one. Hikam El-Garouche has had it since the late 1990s, mid 1990s.
that. 30 years, I think. It's
It's been
almost
30
30 years.
Yeah.
20.
And
Yeah, almost 30 years.
And we've seen individuals that we thought had a chance at getting it. I think Bernard Lagat in his Kenyan years, we really thought were going to be close. Maybe not as much as an American. He ran great for us, but I think his Kenyan years were his peak. We've had a few different individuals.
Jakob came close.
Jakob came really close. Yared
Yardage
was
on
in that race.
343. Yeah.
And Cole Hocker obviously is somebody. Josh Kerr is also somebody there. Now, I'm actually surprised that he's the guy that is going for this attempt, because even though Josh has been great, and he's a world champion. He's an amazing runner.
He's a 345 guy though, whereas the other guys are a little bit 344, 343.
Well, but he's also the guy who opened his mouth and said, "I'm going to do this."
Yeah. So, and you know what? So he kind of.
So cheers to that. I mean, that's.
Yeah, I give him all
awesome.
the credit, because it's not easy to put something out there and then to actually try it and go do it. Like
Right.
So I give him credit for saying he's going to do it and for putting himself in the best position. I mean, Brooks clearly has his back, and they made him these great shoes. He's going to have pacers. I love how Yared said, "I'm going to hop in." I mean,
that's the best gift.
Wouldn't it be crazy if Yared broke the world record and he got it?
Here's the thing. That is the gift that I think that he got was, and don't get me wrong, there's some great runners in that field. Ethan Strand, obviously Hobbs Kessler is a very capable runner.
I mean, it's a full field event. All right. So I don't know what exactly the special stipulations are exactly. I mean,
I think the slowest person's probably like 350, which is now considered slow, which is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's a full field race.
It is. I'm just curious, like, how long they have paces? Are they going to have different pacers? Or I'm just curious. Like, is it going to be like Faith, where he's like blocked in by other people to protect the win?
For me, if it's anything past 800, it bothers me. Right? If you get a pacer through your first half, then you have to run the hard part of the race.
I think it's at least 1200.
Legit.
I would say.
If it's 1200 though, and you just have to kick, like, is that the record?
Yeah,
really. I'll tell you
what. Run it.
I went back today when we were talking about having this conversation. I went back and looked at because YouTube is my friend, and I went back and looked at this Co's 79 record, Ovet's 80 record, Ovet Co 81, 82, 83, and then later on Cram in 80, and they're all the same way. They're all kind of set up the same way as far as pacers go. They have they all had one guy take them through 800 ish, and a second guy try to take them through 3/4, and then, but almost all of them take over with between 500 and 600 meters to go, and they have to take it to the line on their own at the last 600 meters, and that ain't easy.
No.
And then here's the thing:
especially my favorite was the Cram one from Steve Cram from 1985, and he went through in 2:53 and change.
So what he kicking? Jeez,
that's insane.
And his last 200, and he was still off record pace with 200 to go, and he broke it. So it was I recommend looking for the race.
But just like what you said, like the world record was broken in 79 and 80 and 82, and I mean it's been around since 1989. It hasn't. This might be the longest that the mild record has actually been standing for one person. 30, I mean 27 years is a long time.
And I'm I get torn because there's so much speculation about because El-Garouche came up in the midst of the EPO generation era.
Epidemic, I guess we can call it at that point in the sport.
99 was Lance Armstrong's first tour, I think, right? First tour win.
Right around there, yeah.
So all that was happening, and they didn't have tests for it, and that's all legitimate criticism. Right. So that speculation is for real. On the other hand, when he set the record, there was a guy right on his heels.
Yep.
Yes.
So it wasn't
forget that too.
Yeah, and it's so I don't know what to think. I know it's hung in there for 27 some years.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
it's
listen, I like if you would have asked me a couple months ago, can Kerr get it? I said he's not the guy, man. I watched his workout earlier today. He did 4x800 meters like a month ago in
yeah,
like 5 minutes rest. It was like 159, 159, 150, 149. To run
yeah.
that with 5 minutes rest is, I mean, so his last two eights were sub 340 pace with
So
only
here's
five
the
minutes
question.
rest. You know, it's
If you're
crazy.
Yara Naguse, Hobbs Kessler, two guys that have run 344, 343, I think Hobbs has been at 344. He's fat. It's not like he's like a
He's
schlub.
close. Yeah, he's close.
Yeah. If you're Hobbs and Yard, are you looking at this going, this is our world record attempt too, right? Like, and if
Sure.
you feel
They
at
should
any
be.
point from 600 on that Josh isn't going to do it, do you take over that race and
You have to.
say, because those are two guys, I think, out of the whole field. And like I said, there's some other talented guys there. Don't get me wrong. But for me, I'm looking, and this isn't just like an American perspective,
I mean,
just the
people forget
PRs of
that
all the other guys.
Ethan Strand ran like a 346 last week when
But
Cam Myers
346 is a
ran.
long way.
Right.
Even 345 to me is a very long way from 343,
Right.
right?
But at
That's
least, but they can at least help push it.
oh,
Yeah.
yes.
No, they have the right guys in the race. It seems like to me, and I think it's interesting. You mentioned Naguse and
Hobbs.
Kessler.
Now, how often do you get to
Because-
see Yared out there in Colorado?
Oh, he's out there all the time.
Yeah,
he
I
and
was gonna say.
he and the on crowd are out there training all the time.
that's-
You know, I don't sit and watch them very often, but
Right.
it's my son. My son sees them out there all the time.
That's awesome.
And all those guys, they're all out. There's a bunch of them. A bunch of teams are trained at the Niwot track, the same because it's Niwot. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't say this out loud, but they're welcoming to these pro teams to come in.
Well, here's the thing, though. Wouldn't you be if
It
you had
would
the
be, yeah.
ability to watch the best of the best
I
do the
would
workout?
be
Like, I think that's great for
surprised.
any high school.
Yeah, I wouldn't be locking up the gates.
No,
yeah,
we
they
should be
come on.
allowing them in. If we know that there's a meet in our area, high school should be lining up to be like, hey,
I
we
would
don't care
think so.
about insurance for
I
you.
would think
Like,
so. Well, that's part of the problem of the sport, right? Is development of the sport. The pros train at high school tracks. You
I know,
know,
it's crazy.
It's a crazy world, but but that's a whole different thing.
Sure.
The one with the thing about Kessler and Naguse, both of whom I'm fans of, both got run off the track by Cam Myers at Pre. So we'll see what
There's
happens.
the
you know,
guy.
the difference is,
we'll talk
though,
Cam
very
Myers later.
different type of race. What was ran at pre versus what's about to be run.
Well, it wasn't
right?
a record. It wasn't set up
Right.
as a record attempt. Yeah, no, I get that.
And I
Pre
think
was an
this is
actual race. So
But I think
I-
this is much more in Yared and Hobbs' wheelhouse because this is the way the Olympics were ran. This is the way, because we've had a special case of in the world in the Olympics for the past, 5 years, very few of those races have been championship races. They have ran them
Well,
like they are just knockout, drag them out races. And we've seen from the 800 up, we had 4 men at 141 in an Olympic race. That
right.
is stupid. You don't get that. You get 145 because everyone's waiting.
They're
Like,
waiting to just they want to.
we've seen some ridiculous things. So I feel like where the pre-race, listen, Cam ran a hell of a race, and we'll talk more about Cam later. But I feel like this is much more going to be in the wheelhouse of what Yared and both Hobbs have been used to because they've been racing
listen.
Jakob Ingebrigtsen, who doesn't do anything but go full metal, right?
I
Whether
don't
he
think-
wins or not.
I don't think anyone's mind frame for this race is let's race. It's all let's run as fast as we
No.
can.
It's all set up.
race
to
going
run
on.
fast.
But Alex, I think you brought up a very good point. Like we haven't really seen these kind of attempts without Jakob in him because he's the guy who says, "Put it all on me. I'm going to take it. If I get beat, fine, but I'm going to be the one who's pressing the whole time." So it's going to be cool to see someone else kind of have to do that because, I mean, listen, I would have thought that this would have been Jakob doing this, but he's been unfortunate with his injuries. I think he's the most talented guy. Maybe not now because we haven't seen him. And this sport, you don't do anything for a year. You're almost forgotten.
He ran XC though. He did run XC, so he ran in.
But he hasn't run much.
So here's the thing, too, because like you mentioned, we figured Jakob would be the one doing this, but Jakob would never set it up this way.
No.
Jakob would not do stipulations. He would not make it an event. What would Jakob do? He would go to a press conference and say, I'm going to go run world record pace. If anyone wants to come with me, come do it. And he would go and try and do it. Like there would be no big, because he's done that. He did it with his last mile attempt where he ended up falling short. And I think both Kerr and Naguse ended up beating him. But it was like, he went out and he was on world record pace. Like that's all this guy, Jakob Naguse tries to, not Jakob Naguse, Jakob Ingebrigtsen tries to do is if he toes the line, he goes and tries to set a world record, whether it's the Olympics, championships, or whatever meet. So I think there's just a difference in more of Lyle, what you're saying with the guys that you watched. Jakob is much more of in that build of any given race, I'm running a world record. I don't care who's with me.
Right.
And I think that's such a better mentality.
I miss Jakob.
Looking forward to it. He'll be back.
Right.
He'll be back. And if Kerr gets the record,
the Achilles thing is a tough thing to come back from, but it's I hope he's taking the time to get it healthy because I'd love to see him run. I'd love to see it.
He's still very, very young, but man, he has put his body through a lot at a very young age. A lot of hard training. And his dad was not nice to him.
If Kerr gets this record,
you
will see nothing more than Jakob Ingebrigtsen get on this track, because I genuinely think those two men do not like each other, which is great for the sport. Honestly, we need more of them to hate each other. But you will see Jakob Ingebrigtsen will chop his Achilles off and put a bionic one in there through stem cells just to get back and break Josh Kerr's record. And I agree. I love the animosity. There's obviously a respect level there between the gentlemen, but they don't like each other. The same with Noah Lyles and Kung Fu Kenny. And Let's Tabejo. Like, they don't like each other. There's a respect there, but they sure as hell don't like each other, and it's good. I don't want you to like each other. Go hate each other. Compete. That's what you're supposed to do. Like, respect each other, but outside of that, like, I love that when freaking Kenny pushed Noah. Like, good. Have some, fire. Like, everyone be Marco Langan. Talk some mess. Like, oh my God. But that's what I love. So let's jump back to the women real quick, though, because the 800's interesting, because I feel, Lyle, like, we've been talking about, that record's going to be much more organic. I think we're going to see that run by just a few women. Now, Guerrero, to me, I know she's run well. She's kind of come out of nowhere as like a big competitor for me. Like, she's been a good run. It's not like, she's ran 155, 156, but these 153s have been a little bit surprising to me. And I'm hoping that it's legit. Obviously, we always question in our sport, right? But I have to. He was an elite runner before this.
Yeah, but you're right though. Like, that's the first place that our mind goes when we see something.
2 seconds is a big jump in the 8. That's a huge jump from someone who's been doing it. It's her event, right? Whereas opposed to Femke, where she's now learning how to run it. So we're seeing these big
Femke drops. To me, Femke is the wild card, because like, we don't know, because like, she's only run it 3 times and she ran 159 indoors, 157, now she had 1remember she's just.
I'll tell you what though,
she's definitely faster. She's
that indoor race, the first 800 she ran. Yeah, I remember I saw a clip of it and I was watching it. I'm like, it was like the prettiest 159 I've ever seen. It was just this utterly smooth, and I'm like, she's got so much more in this.
Yeah, she doesn't know how to run it.
It really reminded me of watching a Thing Moo run for the first time, too, because the Thing ran like poetry. It didn't look like she was trying. Like, and when she was sprinting, it would just look like she had a jogging stride.
The biomechanics are just extraordinarily smooth, and it's lovely to watch.
It just stinks because, like, if she would have been right there with him, man. She ran 154 3 years ago, at like the age of 22. I think she just fell out of love with the sport, because she was doing it since she was like 5, and she's like, I just don't want to do this anymore. Which is
that's a hard thing. I don't, not without knowing the person personally, it's hard to.
It's a long time to have all that pressure on you, from like age 5 on, and she was winning age group records from like age 6 on. I mean, it's just a lot of pressure, and like, you don't have any life. Like, maybe she's just like, I just want to live life. I don't know.
Yeah, and I heard somebody commenting on it not too long ago about her and saying, what does she have to prove at this point? And she really doesn't. She doesn't have anything to prove. Yeah. Unless she wants to, and then that's another question.
Yeah. I think there's also the big factor of she did change coaches to Coach Kersey, and Coach Kersey is a hell of a coach.
But it didn't seem to mesh
his
very well.
Style, she raced maybe 2 or 3 times a year, and if she didn't run well, they took her off of a lot.
And then she was going up to the 1500. It was weird.
Yeah, so I just think
the knock on him is that he's not an 800-meter coach, not like a middle distance coach, which is sort of a different mentality of racing.
Which is why I was surprised, because like, she was so good at the 4, and then she went up to 15. I don't know. I'm not there to see what she does or how her. I mean, she could just be like, I just don't want to do this anymore, and that's
not
fine.
All coaches mesh with the athlete. You could be a great athlete and a great coach, and not that the relationships don't mesh, but the style doesn't mesh. What the training
Right.
that they're giving
And
you is just not what you need, and
Right.
that's a tough part of our sport, in any sport, really, too,
sometimes they
right?
just run like the relationships just runs the course. Like, people thought Grant Fisher was crazy for leaving his old coach. He's
Right.
doing pretty darn well now.
He's
Sometimes
doing
you just
great.
need
Yeah.
something else. Sometimes you just
He's
need
doing great. And
need a change.
training groups as a pro, this is another thing I wonder about, because I don't have a whole lot of experience secondhand with it or anything. It's just, as a pro, it's a whole different level of everything.
Yeah.
And now you're training with a training group, whatever that group might be. I see what they're doing over here with the on group. Sometimes I see what Drew Hunter's doing with his group.
And the
And
Brooks Beasts have been around now for about 20 years, and they've done really
yeah,
well for themselves. Nick started that group, Nick Simmons.
and at some point these guys race against each other, and they have to take the gloves off and go too.
But the thing is, I do wish that we saw a little more strategy. Like, again, I'm a NASCAR fan, right? And NASCAR is individual, but they have their garages of teams.
Yeah.
And in a NASCAR race, if it's your choice to push your teammate and help your teammate or the guy next to you, you're going to push your teammate and you're going to help them, right? That's part of it.
That's
And I
what
think
made the Africans so good for so long.
And I
They would
think
run together.
we
Yeah.
need to get that mentality, but the contracts make it so difficult, right? Where
Right.
if I'm an on racer for a Dathan and another on racer is next to me, and I know if I box this guy in with him, it might hurt me a little because I'm on the outside, but my on
Yeah.
teammate's going to win a race and go get a nice payday as well.
Right.
I feel like we need to kind of gain that mentality of, no, box out this Nike guy because me and my on teammate are here, where instead our mentality is, I still need to beat them and they're going to understand. I'm going to sit and
do you know what
kick
I think?
and beat them. And it's like, it's tough because the contracts say you need to go win this race.
And here's
X, Y,
also
and Z.
too what I think is, like, if we had more money in the sport, we would see more of that. But like the difference between first and third place could be
Very true.
so much
Well-
money. So it's like, hey, I love you, you're my teammate, but I want to feed my family, because
And everyone gets it, right? It's not like they're mad at them for doing it
No.
if they outkick them on the last 100. Like, it's part of it. You get it. You understand it. But
Yeah.
it would just be so much cooler to watch a 10K where 3 on guys are boxing in
Right.
the presumptive guy that should have won and taken it out, but he can't get out of their box in. Like, the strategy now. Like, to me, that would just be a change of dynamic of everything.
Well, I wonder. It's sort of because you guys used to ask your guests all the time about what would you do to change the sport, what would you do to improve the sport and grow the sport and all that kind of stuff.
We need to get back to that.
And I think it's not a bad idea, honestly, because I think there's some things that I wrote a piece about it a long time ago. That was, I sort of thought about it in terms of, you come out of high school, you come out of college, and you're a team. You have this sort of team effort and team championship and team. So why not have, or the Tour de France has pro teams where you have your one guy who's like the GC.
because wasn't you as
Everyone
a
has their roles.
And then you have these other guys who are what they call domestiques. They're the ones.
Yeah,
who
well, like, because like everybody on the U.S. Postal team made sure that that Lance was winning. Like, they would sacrifice everything for their leader.
And they're all.
I never understood what the shirts meant, but everyone had different shirts too. So it's like I never understood that. So
I knew what yellow meant.
Teams. I'll tell you, yellow's the race.
Yellow went the person's winner. Yeah.
The white is sort of I think it's under 25. It's the yuck. It's like the rookie-ish
up and coming type of guy.
Then they have a green jersey as the sprinter's jersey. So that's whoever. So they have sprints set up.
I've seen that. Yeah,
for the races, and whoever wins the most sprint points wears the green jersey. And then they have a polka dot jersey. It's a white jersey with red polka dots, and that's the king of the mountains. So whoever wins the most points in the mountain climbs wins the.
I remember one year.
That's all I would want. That polka dot jersey.
Well, listen.
Yeah, no shit.
One year, Lance had like 3 or 4 shirts all at once.
They used to have.
He was just crushing.
Years ago,
he was killing the mountains, he was killing the sprints. He was just crushing. I mean,
yeah, they used to have a.
We know why, but
because some of the guys you'd have like a Greg LeMond would win all of them.
Here's the thing. I'm in the camp. I want to reinstate everything Lance did because everyone was doing it, and he was just still physically superior to everyone. Okay, it's like
a show where we talk about nothing but this, Alex, and we're gonna have a disagreement.
Oh man, listen. Roger Clemens did nothing wrong. Everybody was juicing. Okay, like here's the thing. For me, in the end, it's entertainment. Do I want my sports clean? Yes. Do you want to destroy your body to entertain me? Go for it. Like, you know what? Like it's kind of that like. Would I much rather see everything clean? Yeah. Did I think the enhanced games were a joke? Yeah. What?
Tell that to Lyle Alzado.
Can't because he's dead.
I know. I know. Listen, but you know what? I've always said if I was on the borderline of getting an NFL contract
Yeah.
and I knew that if I just took some steroids, I would make $10 million,
Right.
I sure as hell would have done it. I absolutely would have done it.
I know, I get it, and I am of, and I don't know. This is probably this I don't know if it is or isn't. It might be an unpopular opinion, but I have always felt, and I know you can't turn the clock back. You can't turn the calendar pages back, but it seems to me that if you're serious about it, which is the big caveat of this whole thing. If you're serious about it and you have a situation set up where you're testing for doping, you're testing for cheating. There was a guy just yesterday, it was it Tim Simpson, was a Tour de France rider who died on Mont Ventoux back in the 60s. And he was taking barbiturates or something, some uppers. Yeah. And he had a heart attack on the mountain and died. And so people have been doping forever. As long as there have been games, people have been trying to cheat.
What's the phrase? If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, right? That's the phrase of sports.
That's NASCAR for you, right?
Yeah.
So now, but the thing is, if you're serious about it, it seems to me that if you test positive, right, and you're cheating, and you exhaust all of your appeals, and that's it. You've reached the end of that argument. It's a lifetime ban. You're out.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Now, if your coach knew about it and it's proven that your coach knew about it, lifetime ban. You're out. Go coach something else.
I don't disagree.
If your manager or your lawyer knew what was going on, if your sneaker company knew what was going on,
your agent,
see ya. Go make soccer boots.
So for you, it's like, would Nike have been? Should Nike be out of the sport with what went on with the Oregon Project and Alberto Salazar and everything? And here's the thing: would there be a sport?
Like I said, you can't turn the calendar back. So I don't. This is a thing where if I were king of the world and I could set it up from scratch, that's how I'd set it up. Because
I'm with you.
I don't think it's a right to be a professional athlete.
Sure.
Agreed.
I think it's an obligation in a lot of ways.
I'm with you. So
I don't disagree.
And so maybe I'm naive and maybe
I mean, listen,
it's happening. Tourist, but that's
Listen, it's good. So we were talking about the women's 800. I have a name in the men's 800 that I don't think people are talking about enough, and he keeps winning. Brendan Miller.
Yeah,
he did get beat up pretty bad against Marco Arap recently.
He
on
just beat
Canadian
Cooper
soil.
though.
He ran.
Cooper. He's run a couple 143s. He's been pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Like
he's for real.
He's a guy I think who's fine. Like he's been running for Brooks for a while. He's always been solid. He's a age group winner in high school. Maybe he's the guy who's kind of finding
like 27.
No, he's young.
Like he's but he's been around the sport for a while.
But maybe he's fine straight. It's great that we have all these like 2 years ago, I would have said, Bryce Hoppel is the clear-cut number one American. Now he's maybe fifth or sixth.
Because Donovan had a great resurgence
Donovan back. I mean, you got
and
freaking Cooper's ridiculous.
I don't care if Donovan ever wins another race. I'm just happy to see him racing and healthy. Like, if he just runs 145s for the rest of his career, I'm fine because Donovan Brazier is healthy and running at an elite level. That just makes me happy. But yeah, Brandon Miller is someone who he kind of is in like that Isaiah Jewett kind of category and something like that, where he's a little bit better, but someone who's always there. He's an elite runner. Can he win any race? Yes. Can he sneak onto an Olympic team, and really make an Olympic team? I would not be surprised if Brandon Miller ends up with Cooper Luke.
It reminds me of like like Mark Everett type from
Vernon Norwood
from back in the day.
A lot of like a Vernon in the form.
Right.
Mark Everett, yes.
And
so it's like,
I mean, he doesn't have that crazy Mark Everett arm swing. But
am I surprised to see Brandon Miller running well? Am I surprised that he gets a win against Cooper Lukenhaus? Like, no, it never surprises me when Brandon Miller runs well. But now I need to see Brandon Miller not go from 143 to 145 where Marco Arap runs. Right? It's like I need to see him at least follow that up with another 143. Yeah, okay. Marco ran a 142, set the record on Canadian soil. But I need consistency out of Brandon Miller. And I get it. 2 weeks in a row, it's tough to keep doing it. But if you want to enter into Cooper Lukenhaus's class officially, you need to keep doing it week after week. You want to be Bryce Hoppel, Donovan Brazier. Like, you got to do it week after week. You can't go from 143 to a 145 mid in a 2 week succession.
Isn't that crazy though? You're like, if you want to be in the same class as the 17-year-old,
Hey, he's a grown man in this sport right now.
I mean, what he's been doing is
and listen,
is extraordinary, and
and people,
first,
you're right.
the first season as a pro.
It's unbelievable.
He's right. He ought
Indoor
to be,
world champ. Indoor
maybe worried about prom night. And
but it's funny, but like, and people forget that we have another person who ran a 142 flat or 141. Howie. He hasn't even run yet.
We forgot about Josh.
You know, like
well, we haven't seen Josh in about a year
right.
almost. So
he's there in the 8 and the 15 too. I mean, he's like, it's unbelievable where we are as a country. Like we were always like, maybe if an American makes the Olympic final, it's pretty cool in the 800. You know,
that's,
I mean,
that's really
after
exciting.
Johnny Gray and them. I mean, we had guys, but we weren't consistent. Now, like there's an American there all the time. In the 8, in the 15, in the 5.
There's the problem of it's not where for about 2-3 years it was almost a big surge and a surprise, like Yared, Josh, all these guys coming in. Now it's expected. So it's a different scenario now where American middle distance in the men's side is expected to go out and win Diamond League meets. We're expected to go out and make finals consistently. And
they are because
it's different though. When the target's on your back, it's very different.
But I also
in
think
terms of athletes,
we see the trickle down effect. I mean, I think there were like 40 kids this year who broke 150 in high school. Like it's crazy. Like it's definitely trickling down. Like whatever it's doing, it's trickling down. So like we have guys who just keep coming and coming. And I mean, like I said, 2 years ago, Cooper Lutenhouse was a freshman in high school. Now he's running a 142. It's unbelievable.
Think of it this. So I was on scrolling Instagram and Oregon's standards came up and I looked at them, the recruiting standards for a high schooler to be greenlit for a scholarship consideration, 150 in the 8 and 406 in the mile.
Yeah.
Like that is, and if you're a transfer, it's 146. I think what was 148 and 401. Like it is, but that's the gauge, right? Where are our youth? Oregon is one of them you look at, right? Northern Arizona. Like you look at their standards, that's our elite, and that's insane.
Well, there's a lot that's happened in the sport in the last decade.
Sure.
That's changed, and we talk about it every now and again, where we say, time doesn't mean what it used to mean.
No,
4 minutes doesn't mean what it used to mean. It's still amazing. It's still hard. It's still all those things. So, and this, I'll even loop this back into the world record attempt in a minute. But everybody's wearing super spikes. Set aside what they're training in. Just on race day, they have this stuff, and it's changed a lot.
They're taking bicarb. Bicarb is massive now.
Bicarb. I remember my dad told me a story. This is years ago. This is before I was even looking at Villanova, and he had a guy he worked with who had a son who was running like 418, 419. So it was back in the sort of late 70s, early 80s. And so he took him down to visit Villanova. And so they made an appointment and went in to see Jumbo.
Yeah, brilliant.
And so they go in and they sit in Jumbo's office, and Jumbo's very polite, and they talk about this, that. Now, well, I see what your son's run here. It's, that's very good, very competitive, and in the end, he basically says, it would be really nice if Villanova is the school for him. It would be really nice to have him here at Villanova. If he wanted to come out to the team, we'd love to see him. But I have to be honest with you, he's probably not going to get a uniform. He's probably not going to race. And the dad gets all my dad described this guy as being very
aggressive.
He was a sales guy. He's like, oh, well, what about, but he ran this and that and the other thing, and he won this event, blah, blah, blah. So, and so Jumbo kind of calms him down and says, look, there are 10 young men in the country this year who ran 4:10 for the mile or better. And the guy says, yeah, well, how many of those are coming to Villanova? And Jumbo just sits back in his chair, crosses his arms, and says, all of them. And that was it. And so, and whether it's true or not, I don't know, but it's that's your recruiting times, that's your shock and awe. It's like, this is,
and the number rises.
There's a whole lot of things. And we all know, because there's a whole lot of things that go into recruiting and choosing and making offers that have nothing to do with numbers.
Right.
Numbers are important, but they're not the only thing. So, I don't know. And then so to loop it back into the world record attempt, now the sports changes. Yeah, it's 27 years since the record was broken. But now you have these guys, you have these athletes. Now they're training in carbon fiber plates. They're racing in carbon fiber plates. They're
Taking bicarb. They're
bicarb, whatever impact that has. They have they're planning out. They're not racing as much as they did back then.
Nutrition is
They're
massive.
have the chase lights on the inside of the thing, which I have a whole big.
Oh, I think they're
I think
useless
they're
unless it's a
entertaining.
world record attempt.
I think
entertaining.
they're great for the fans.
Yeah, they're great for the fans.
But here's the thing. If we had new fans coming in, I would agree.
Yeah.
We don't, because we price ourselves out. Who the hell that doesn't already watch the sport is going to pay to go watch Diamond League on Flow Track? If you're not already locked in,
there's a lot of complaints too about the coverage.
If you're not already a fan of the sport, why am I going to go and seek out a Flow Track membership to go watch a meet across the pond when the World Cup is on for free?
Right.
You're not.
No, I agree. And I got to tell you, I was watching because our guys, the NIWAT guys, went out to Oregon for the Nike Nationals.
Yeah.
New Balance Nationals was in Philly. And I'm watching, and I was looking to kind of get the wider shot, right? And this, granted, they're running in very large venues.
Yeah.
But there's like nobody there.
I know.
Nope.
They're all the kids. The kids are there cheering each other on.
Yep.
But there's nobody there in the stands. I'm like, where are the parents? Is it just? And I went to look up ticket prices for those things, and they were more than I expected them to be.
Yeah. Well, the thing is too, it's like if I'm Nike or if I'm New Balance next year, knowing the times that they run and how special those meets actually are, I'm calling NBC and saying, "Hey, put it on for free."
Yeah.
We don't want anything.
Those meets are on free, but they're free on YouTube. But
okay, but who cares? Who's going to go seek that on YouTube? Get me a commercial. Like as New Balance, I would say I don't want to make a profit off of this. I just want people to see our logo. That is our profit. Our logo affiliated with this event. Call John Anderson. John Anderson will probably go and friggin' do it for free. The man is
have Sid there,
junkie.
if you're New Balance, like you need Sid there. You need all your.
Imagine watching the high schoolers do what they've done and how special we know they are, but having it on primetime, having it on NBC, having any one of these things picking up so that people could sit there and go and say, hey, let's just throw it on. I'm a track fan. Or my son runs for a small college or
do you know how many people you would get watching? You're like, oh, I ran track in high school. Let me just check this out.
That's the point right there. Is
you don't get that because
track and cross country are the biggest participant sports at that age in the country, period.
And if you had it on free and people were just channel surfing, they'd be, oh.
Yeah.
And even I ran a 400 in high school. I'm like, oh my God, this person just ran 43 seconds. It would.
Yeah, or I threw up after that 800 in high school.
Well, just imagine
I ran a 225 and these guys are running a 141. Like, oh my God, this is awesome.
Just imagine how much you'd multiply just the teams alone watching their teammates and the parents watching their own teammates. You already have a built-in, the whole Union Catholic team would be going to watch Paige compete, right? All the NIWAT team, and NIWAT's obviously a well-known, I imagine half the school would go and watch one of their members. So now you're looking at easily from that meet getting into the hundreds of thousands of fans. No problem for a high school meet, right? They show high school football games that between IMG and other big
games.
Make it easy for these people to see it and get exposed to it. Absolutely. Back in theater, right? They have. I remember when I covered. I was a local reporter in Madison, New Jersey.
Yeah.
And we had the New Jersey Shakespeare Festival at Drew.
That's awesome.
And all of the plays up there, they had what they called student rush tickets. So they sold all their tickets, and then like 10 minutes before the curtain goes up, they went to they virtually give tickets away.
Go to the quad and say, who wants to come?
Maybe they were $10 because they wanted to pack the house.
Yeah.
So, start thinking about bringing in, and that person who loved that show is going to come back to the next one.
Yep.
Same way as that person who loved that meet or loved that game or loved that race, whatever it was.
Or someone just finds a athlete that they love. They're going to find, when is this athlete racing again? I want to watch them run.
Exactly right. I
I
mean, you don't have to give it away, but you have to make it easier for
Yeah,
them.
but you might
The-
have to give it away early on to get a
Yeah.
profit
Here's the
later on.
thing. The way they need to think about it is okay, what's the bottom line number I need to sell tickets for in order to pay for everything?
Right.
Okay. And then how instead of how do I make $5 per ticket, how do I make $1 or $2?
Right.
Don't do $5 of overhead,
Right.
do $1 or two. And then if you pack the house, okay, then that grows. And next year, okay, now I could do $2. Then I can eventually get to that $5 number and make exponentially more if initially I only make a little bit. Like these,
Well, and
they're
here's
not willing to take a loss when business people know when you're starting something, you do need to take a loss, but they're
right,
unwilling.
right. You got to take it on the nose a little bit in here, but
Yeah.
here's the thing, and we've all talked about this too here and just among our fan friends, is that there are 5 different meets called national
Oh,
championships.
it's ridiculous.
Oh, it's terrible.
Under Armour,
So,
like Adidas.
I'll tell you
Under
what,
Armour.
the first one that packs the house is going to be the national championship.
Yeah.
That's the one that people are going to want to go to, whether it's easy, whether it's because it's easy to get there, or the tickets are,
And it's either going to be Nike or New Balance.
or my
Those are
kid's
the
running in it. That's the one that's going to be a big deal.
Here's also the thing, though, and it's up to us as the fans to do this. The Grand Prix is right here in New York. I mean, not the Grand Prix. The
US
Nationals is right
Nationals.
here in New York,
Mhm.
over at Icon.
Yep.
If that stadium, that 5,000 seat stadium, isn't packed both days, why would any sponsor care?
Right. Exactly.
Right? Like, so it's up to us as the fans to sit there and go out and support this too. Because if, like, again, it was embarrassing. We started this show because Worlds was in Eugene.
Right.
The numbers for Worlds were embarrassing in Eugene. They sucked. The first day was good. The
Right.
following days were not good. And if I'm sitting there and I'm Nike, New Balance, Hoka, Brooks, I'm going, the hell am I going to invest more than I am right now into this sport if at the mecca of the sport in the country,
Right.
we can't fill that stadium for 3 days for the best athletes on the planet to come and do it.
Right.
So it's up to us as fans as well. Like, we complain about
Sure.
why don't we have what Diamond League has? Because they pack those stadiums in Europe.
Oh,
for
they're not as
multi-day
big
events.
as most of these either. I mean, Hayward, the old Hayward was, I don't know how many seats, but it was
New
much,
one's monsters.
and the new one is enormous. And
Yeah.
so,
We have to be realistic.
Plus, we don't have any like minus
Icons.
Icon. Do we have any track only tracks? And I mean, like
Nope.
no, like even Hayward Field is not track only.
But I'll tell you this, Grand Slam had it right when they went down to Miami over
Yeah.
at the ESPN
Yeah.
Center. That looked awesome. There was 5,000 fans, seats there, but they gathered around the whole track. That was their best looking meet by far.
Right.
In Grand Slam. Like, you could talk about the Penn Relays one because they were smart and didn't pan the camera around to all the empty seats like they did in Jamaica.
And they put everyone
consistently.
on one
Put
side.
everyone in one spot, especially by the finish line.
Won't stretch
They
it.
didn't let everything go up, but the Miami meet looked great in Grand Slam because the 5,000 seats filled easy. You had people around the track. It was loud at the finish. Like, we don't need to have 20, 30, 40,000 people initially. We need 5 to 10,000 seat venues, which we can pack as track fans. It needs to look good. It needs to sound good. And then people will think it's bigger than it is. It's the
Absolutely.
WWE effect. You only let some people sit in certain places. You tell them it's sold out because you're only selling a certain number of tickets. And there you go. That's what Vince McMahon did with wrestling for 20 years, but until WWE actually started getting those numbers.
We did that. We used to go up and race at the Carrier Dome, and we'd go to a basketball game.
Yeah.
And they do the same thing. They had these huge curtains, and they made it smaller and filled what they had, and it was awesome. It was a great place to see a game.
Absolutely.
And, so you got
Darren Peters coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sound running included high school races to the 10, which brought in the fans into the professional races. And that's big too, right? Because you're having high school kids, their parents, some of their friends, because the 10 is a massive meet. So you're going to have friends want to go there. And now they get to rub elbows with these pros. But that, to me, though, Darren, I don't know if you guys share this. Dave knows my opinion. It's also the problem with our sport. Because why the hell are pros competing against amateurs? I'm sorry, they're amateurs. Our pros, because are we going to let the best high school player go play in an NFL game? No. Is the great U23 player that didn't make the World Cup team going to do a surprise meet? Like, we let our pros mingle with amateurs far too often.
I think if they're good enough
to have pro meets.
But I think that's what's the best thing about our sport is that your age doesn't matter. It's like how fast can you run? Like, so I don't have a problem with it.
This is something I wonder about sometimes. It's because I don't remember. This is before my time, but Jim Ryan, right, came up. He was the first American high school to 4 minutes for the mile, and then he started running open races because he was among the best.
Yep.
So they had to have him there. And
Alan Webb too.
But as long as it's rare, I think that's a good thing. When it starts to become a regular thing, I think
you don't see it as like you don't see it in like you won't see it in like Diamond League or any of the like big races.
Well, because they invite pros only at the Diamond League. It's not an invite. It's not. It's a meeting. It's not an invite. There's a difference. So that's an invite only, and unless you are a pro, you don't.
What do you feel about high school kids competing at like U.S. Nationals? I think
they should
really. They have every right to.
For me,
but it's not. It's U.S. Nationals. It does not specify any sort of level of competition. So to me, like, there's no reason why Paige Shepard can't run the outdoor nationals.
Here's the thing.
Like, there's no reason. Like, she's run too flat. She's
by the standard of that, sure. But if you ever want our sport to get big, fans need to know who's a professional, who isn't.
Well, this gets back to there's a it's a big conversation, right? What's the structure of the sport? Like in baseball, in Major League Baseball, right? Baseball, you have farm teams. And you play, and I love going to a minor league game because they're great.
We have a great minor league team. It's our Yankees farm team, and I'm a big Yankees fan. I love that.
Now the high schoolers, I think for the national championship, if it's a legitimate national championship, if you can qualify and you can compete with them, I think you should be allowed to. I think the problem there is if you have a lot of like high schoolers or college kids who are getting to that level, and they're competing at maybe you're not supporting your pros enough to get better.
Well, here's my thing. So Alex, Cooper Lewinhouse shouldn't have been able to run last year.
I would do a compromise. You get 3 professional meets, and then you give up your amateurism. You have to go pro. You can compete at that nationals. You can compete at the pre if you're invited, but that's fine. You need to eventually. We can't continue to allow amateurs to upstage our pros.
Well, like Cooper it is not I mean,
that's fine. Cooper did it. Because he had the opportunity.
He's like, but you also around 142.
Agreed. He didn't. But the thing is, like, it's not a good look when you can have these kids upstage your pros, but not be forced to get to that level, right? But they can go back and run a high school race again.
But you want viewers, right?
Not for a spectacle, because then he gets shuffled into the crowd.
Listen, when Alan Webb ran
in 3 years, is not going to be Cooper Lewinhouse from last year.
But when Alan Webb ran,
he's just going to be another guy.
Ran at pre in high school, and he ran 3:53. It was so many people watched that meet because Alan Webb was in it. He was on Letterman. Like he brought people to the sport.
Back to what Lyle said, it was rare. It's not rare now. We have Tate running the 200 in 1979. We have Quincy running 44s. It's
never been big. I don't think it was as rare on the female side, because you always had like Mary Slaney's. You always had like people like that who were really or the Americans. But you're right. It is new that we're having younger males be able to physically compete. So I think that's the difference, is that like for whatever reason, I don't know if they're just starting training earlier. They're definitely obviously doing way more intense stuff earlier. It's way more intense.
My thing is, for me,
they're able to hang.
It's just not a good look for the sport if you're allowing amateurs to consistently do it. To me, if one-offs, like, okay, Cooper did it for an Olympics.
I think it brings eyeballs, man.
But at what cost, right? Is it eyeballs that are going to stay?
What's the objective? Is the objective to get more fans to watch the thing? You have those kids in the races. There's going to be more people watching those races. It's fact. It's been proven every time. So we can't argue and say we want more people to watch the race, but we don't want these kids. Like we can't keep changing what we want to based upon if we want people to watch.
Some of these things fall into personal and coaching and developmental
100%
decisions that need to be made, right? So Paige, for example.
Mm-hmm.
I love watching her run. I cheer for her because she's doing some amazing stuff. It's great. But on the other hand, it seems to me, and this is what I worried about Cooper Lewinhouse the same way when he went pro. I'm wondering, okay, you're a young kid, you're 16, turning 17, you're turning pro. What's that risk to you physically, emotionally, developmentally, all that kind of stuff. Now, he seems to be handling it very well, by
I
the
would
way.
say so.
Seems to have a great support system.
Can
Now,
you imagine
Paige has run all
winning the world indoor championships on a Saturday and going back to school on a Tuesday? Like, how cool is
Crazy.
that?
That's almost a value to our sport, though, is because even though Cooper is going pro, he's not a bazillionaire because our sport doesn't make bazillionaires. So it's like he's still
No.
one of us.
Yeah.
It's like he's
Now-
still a schlub for now.
Now Paige has gone on, and she ran the under 20 out at
Yes.
Hayward.
Yep.
I think she won it, right?
She won it, yeah, and she's ran, great season. So there's another meet to come for her. So she's still running track. Now I look at how we used to do, back in the high school days, in the high school mentality.
Yeah.
Now I'm in, training mode for cross country, So,
Yes,
but where does she get the break? What's her cross country season going to look like?
I don't think they're even worried
or does somebody start talking about eligibility for high school?
I just think now,
year?
like that, like some of these kids just get so specialized, like they don't care. Like Paige won't care if she doesn't run till groups. Like, what does it matter? Like her
No, I know.
her team is so good that like they don't need her. When
it's
I mean,
a really
they obviously need her.
long
She is
season.
that good. It is, and it's like
And I
I'm
think-
curious how she's going to run at the US Nats if she runs, because man, that's a
As a
crazy
kid,
long
as an athlete, as a parent, as a coach, you have to be concerned about, when is she going to get a break? When is she going to get her
But
rest?
I will also say,
not even
Go ahead,
physically, but like just mentally.
But I would say,
That's true.
Alex and I say all the time, like, these kids are just different. Like when we were in high school, if someone wanted me to come on a podcast like this, I don't know if I was.
That's absolutely true.
If I was like
Yeah.
mature, like these kids have everything. Like they're just calm. They got everything figured out. It's like, it's crazy. Like
So
they're
a
like
few
they're
things-
they're like mini pros. It's
when it comes to Paige specifically, a few things. Number one, she's in a little bit of a harder place than Cooper was, because yes, she ran 2 minutes, but 2 minutes isn't 142.
That's
that
true.
would be her running a 156, right? Like 156, 155, and then that decision gets much easier, right?
Right.
Or even a 157. Like that decision gets much easier.
100%.
But number two, she's uniquely qualified to run Nats at her age, because 10 years ago, less than 10 years ago, in that same school, Sydney did it at 16. Sydney was at nationals. So
Right.
I feel like she and that coaching staff is uniquely qualified with Coach McCabe to guide her through that and say, you know what, Paige, go get that experience, because in 4 more years, now you're ready, and that's not going to shake you. You're
Right.
going to understand what it's like to go and be at U.S. Nationals. And
Yeah,
it's
I
in
mean,
your
you wanna get the
backyard. It's not in
experience.
Hayward.
And that's absolutely true.
So
And it's,
they're uniquely qualified to
yeah.
do it because they've done it already, with another 16, 17-year-old female having to now go and deal with pros and everything. And it's like, okay, Paige. And I guarantee they have Sydney talking to her,
I'm
because
sure.
they're very
I'm
close
sure-
there,
I'm
and
sure.
Sydney's telling her experience, right?
Right.
I would
Right.
think,
So
yeah.
it's to me, she's in a great situation, Paige, putting herself there as a fantastic athlete.
Plus, she has
her
studs,
poised.
and her team is so good that she gets
team is good.
like she can train with people in practice. Like that, it's
Right.
like they had a freshman go run 205.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I saw that. I want to be real clear about one thing though too, is I'm not saying that they shouldn't be allowed to, or they shouldn't be. These are opportunities
Right.
if they present themselves. They're really
You do have
unique.
to worry more about, because
But
they are so
I-
young.
as
Yes.
as speaking as a former
parent
athlete and
and athlete,
as
yeah.
a parent, I don't want to say I worry about it, but I get concerned. I have concerns about these developmental things, because it's like, there's a lot you put on
There
the
is, but
and if they want it, that's one thing.
for some
And if-
reason, I feel like 10 years ago, like these kids just aren't burning out anymore. I don't know what it is. They're able to keep. It's unbelievable.
Well, here's the thing.
crazy.
In speaking to Paige and even watching her year, right? She went through some ups and downs, because in XC, she did burn out. Her legs got tired. She was
Right.
not keeping up with Leah and Blair at the
Right.
end, right? Like we saw that. And it's just, I feel like she's mentally tough, because she was able to regain that
That's
composure,
for sure.
come into indoor and outdoor, and still be Paige Shepard. Not let that letdown of Leah out kicking her and everything that happened with her during XC. Maybe there's a little bit there going, listen, XC is not my sport.
Right,
I'm just really good at that, and I focus here.
Well, you
but
make
still,
choices, you decide
And
what color you are, yeah.
well, I mean, listen, I mean, I don't know if she's going to run XC in college or not.
She
I don't
probably
know,
will.
but I really think she enjoys leading a team that has a chance to win the national championship.
But
You
still,
know,
there's
like
also
it matters to her. It
but
matters to her.
remember, Dave, 2 years ago when we started the show, we were talking about Paige Shepard being untouchable for 4 years, right? And I think that's also everybody thought that as well because we didn't think we would see something like Paige Shepard come around for another 5, 6, 7 years, and then in comes Leah Starkey. Here is
Yeah.
Blair Bartlett.
Here's
Here
Natalie
is now
Kumis.
there's Natalie like so now she's surrounded by other phenoms, and I think she's also mentally strong in that sense because she has taken arrows from everywhere and has just continued to now sit there and be the cream of the crop in female middle distance running
Right.
around the country too. Like
Yeah.
she's the best miler in the country right now, and to an 800-meter runner. Like the things that she's been able to do is ridiculous.
New Jersey finished the year, I think, with 6 of the top 10 times in the 800-meter
It's
for the girls. Jersey 800-meter girls is, I mean, you don't run 205, you're not sniffing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like it's interesting. It's interesting to see him, and we'd be remiss to mention Ellery Lincoln just ran this past weekend in the I think 1500 in her first pro meet and ended up taking like sixth or seventh, ran ridiculously fast. So it's like we are getting there, but again, at the same time, I'm on the double-edged sword here where I think there needs to be some rules for high school and collegiate athletes competing in pro races. There really needs to be. You need to have maybe 3 in the high school level or something. There needs to be a certain number what you can do before you're forced to turn pro because I just think it's not a good look.
But how do you tell someone that they can't run in a race when they're getting paid? Like that's the thing that like these high school kids are not getting paid. College kids
because you make a rule at that pro level.
I could see three pro races. You have to go.
You do 3 pro races, then you got to go because you can only upstage your pros so many times. Then are they pros?
Every sport has these questions, right? So you have the governing body of the sport.
Do we have one in America?
USATF, I guess.
Sorry, Darren. Darren, I know Darren's close to USATF. Darren is a good one, okay? We like you, Darren.
We got USATF. We got, and then in college you got the NCAA, which has its own problems.
Which I give them credit for. That
high
age
school,
limit
every
rule.
state, you have the NJSIAA and every state version of it times 50. So the rules are a tough thing sometimes, and you have like the PGA of America. This is the Professional Golfers Association of America. Many years ago, broke off and had a new organization as part of it called the PGA Tour.
Mm-hmm.
They're 2 different organizations. They do not,
which is so funny, right? Like,
yeah, it's really weird, but it kind of works in its way because now the PGA Tour handles all of the regular professional tournaments around the country, and there's some of them around the world now.
Yep.
The PGA of America manages the PGA Championship and the
US Open. They do the Ryder.
No,
okay, US is on its own.
The US Open is the USGA. That's the United States Golf Association, which manages all the amateur sports, which
is so funny too, because all of the different Masters events, and this is the same in tennis, they do what they want. Like, and that's why it was always a big deal with the LIV, where the LIV players, especially as the break, were going to be, invited to go to the Masters. Were they going to be invited to go? And
all the majors are run by different organizations.
Yeah, they're private themselves.
Run by the PGA Tour.
It's so crazy.
The Masters is run by Augusta National Golf Club.
Yep.
The PGA Championship is run by the PGA of America, not the PGA Tour. The US Open is run by the USGA.
British Open's probably run by some,
And the British Open is run by my favorite name in all of sports, the Royal and Ancient Golf Club of St. Andrews.
Yeah.
And
I like that a lot, actually.
And Royal and Ancient is the comparable organization to the United States Golf Association, and they every 4 years have a summit where they try and get their rules to match.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting. I mean, I think we could talk about that all night. Whether high school kids should, I don't have a problem with it if they're good enough. I mean, I don't like when like fringe high school kids, try to enter these things, and I also don't love at nationals how they have so many like emerging like elites, like all these different subcategory sections. Like
all the money grab to get more kids in to get bids in.
Yeah, or like the old Foot Locker race, used to have like a freshman race. Like, no, this is the Foot Locker meet. Like, you're not good enough to run in the main meet. Sorry.
Here's the thing. I
I
look to
love that Foot
soccer.
Locker was just 2 races. That's
Yeah.
it.
I look to
And it was
soccer.
like then it was
with
like a
this.
sophomore race, there was a freshman race, there was an unchampionship. It was like just money. Like it didn't help the meet. It actually watered it down.
So
Yeah.
Dave, here's the thing. I'll look to soccer with this. When you're in the U system, the U23, whatever, you get a certain number of caps at the senior level before you have to make a decision which country you have to go for. It's a little different, but because a lot of your soccer players have different eligibilities, America's been doing really good with this lately. It's why our team is any sort of good, because a lot of those U players. Flo Balogun is a perfect example. He could have played for England, Nigeria, or American. He chose America. He took a lot of his U23 caps over with Nigerian national team. So I think that we need to get something akin to that, where you get a certain number, and it has to be. It won't just be like a small pro race, right? Because those races are whatever. But if it is continental or above, right? If it's a
Yeah.
gold
Right.
race or above,
I
gold
can
and
see that.
diamond or above, where you're
Right.
getting the elite, the best in the world
Right.
there.
So
And
all right, I can see that. So you're okay with like high school kids running like the like Monmouth Mile?
they can run the Monmouth Mile. They can go
It's like
run
that.
in whatchamacallit, the ATL circuit. The ATL
Yeah.
circuit is typically a silver level circuit. Go run the ATL, and then that's where you can get your chops amongst the pros. And again, learn how to run against grown men and grown women there, because they're still pros. But I don't want to see them in more than a few races up against what we present in our sport as the best around. Because
All right.
imagine if an 18-year-old high school senior could jump into the NBA but not have to play. They don't have to be NBA players. They could be guest players in whatever games, beat the
Right.
crap out of them, and then every once in a while they pop in and they do it. Would we respect the NBA players anymore?
Not as
No.
much.
We like that LeBron had to come and play 82, because now we had to see if this kid could do an 82 game gauntlet. Like, and that's a difference too, where these
It is
Diamond
different.
League athletes that are consistently running, what is there, 16 Diamond League meets, you have to run 12 to be eligible for the final, right? So they pick and choose. If
Yeah.
we're just allowing kids to go jump in and run 3 or 4 of them, sure, they're not running the gauntlet. Of course, they're going to look great. But if they have to go and be pro, make them be pro. Make them run a pro schedule on a pro contract with pro pressures, which is
But
what
I-
Cooper's doing really well.
I think we are seeing more of that. Like, like Cooper realized why stay in high school.
And I
So
agree, and that's fine. Quincy did the same thing. I'm fine with both of that.
But I think that's more of a option now, is that these kids can go pro at a young age, where I'm not sure that they were even like, I'm not sure Webb had to go to Michigan. He
Well,
wasn't.
they don't
getting
want to
anything
invest
out of-
in them. The money wasn't there. There is
Now
more
it
money
is.
there, but I'm just saying, I just don't like seeing our best guys and girls being upstaged, because how are we going to sit there and point to, well, Bryce Hopple's one of my favorite runners. And, oh, but why is there a high schooler that's not pro that just wiped the floor with him in a bunch of races? It's like, well, he's great though. It's like, no. Okay. Cooper, he might be 17, but he's a pro.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, we have to have
I think
standards.
that soccer comparison
Analogy.
is probably a solid one.
Yeah.
But again, it falls back down to somebody, who makes the rules and who enforces the rules. And you need a governing body that has a certain amount of
Chutzpah.
And
Judge Kennesaw Mountain Landis energy. It's
and
like,
the meets with
take
the
it
high
by
school
the
kids,
hands and say this is the way it's going to be.
and those meets that have high school kids, they do better rating wise. It's just
Yep.
fact. It's just fact. So like the people who run the meets are like, I don't care. Like you're going to bring me more money. So I don't know.
Hey,
I
listen,
never really
I
thought
get
about
it.
that. I kind of like your idea with the whole cap thing. That's intriguing.
I like that. I think that has some
merit to me. Yeah.
There you go. See, we can make compromise, and that is what we're here to do. But unfortunately, this first awesome show as a trio is coming to an end. This was fun. And
Awesome.
if this is the preview, I'm not surprised, Lyle, because we've had 2-3 great shows with you already. I'm excited to do more with you and guests, man. This is going to be so much fun, Lyle.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
So everybody, thank you for watching. We appreciate it. Going forward, like I've said, get used to Alex, Dave, and Lyle being here every week, bringing on guests. Every once in a while, it'll just be us three momos just talking about track and field and what's going on. But this is it. I'm pumped for the future. I think that the show is now going to get significantly better, because I'll be talking less, because we'll have two intelligent people that know the sport significantly better. talking more. So I'll just be there to kind of, hey, topic, go, Lyle Dave. So that'll be kind of my role. But I appreciate, everyone out there that watch wherever you watch from, X, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, or Kick. If you have not already subscribed or liked, please go ahead and do so. Before we jump out of here, Dave, Lyle, anything before we run away?
Listen, man, if you get the opportunity on Saturday to watch this mile world record attempt, do it. I think it's gonna be fascinating.
It'll be fun.
Whether he gets it or not, or if someone else does. It's just cool that that it's happening, and
I guarantee it'll be closer than Faith's.
Well, yeah, it's not gonna be 7 seconds.
Well, no, in Faith's defense, she did set a world record. It was just her own, but she just didn't get anywhere near 4 flat.
Yeah.
I mean, all right. So if I had to predict, it's gonna run like a 3:40, 3:05, and just come up short.
My prediction.
I'm in the same boat there. I have to tell you.
I think
I love them, and I want them all to. I want them all to run well and have a great race.
Yeah.
In like that world record attempt race type race.
Right.
But I think it's there's a lot of
so many factors.
A lot of legend in 27 years,
and to me, like, it's so hard to pick a date because, like, you don't know how the weather's going to be. You don't know if it's going to be like, it's so hard to say I'm doing it on this day. So I give him tons of credit.
It's in London, it's going to be raining.
Right. So
but he's used to that. He grew up there.
But listen, I give him credit. He's backing up what he said. He's going for it. And but I also wouldn't be surprised if Yard won.
My prediction: Kerr is about to handily get it. Jakob Ingebrigtsen from the top rope drop kicks him before the line because he does not want him to get. We're gonna get some WWE going on here in our sport. Jakob just comes and just spears him before he gets there.
If Jakob was just there watching, like, all right.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That'd be cool.
I wouldn't be surprised, and he would chastise him if he didn't get it, and if he did get it, he'd be like, "Well, I'm coming." Like, either way, I don't think Jakob is gonna have anything positive to say, whether he gets it or not. So, but yeah, so we'll be back next week. We'll probably have a guest. I don't know. If not, you'll have us three chit-chatting. We're going to do it. So everyone, thank you so much for watching. We'll be back. Bye, y'all.